States and around the world, some of the new systems, dark light systems that are coming in to monitor and to make resiliency, or at least create an environment where there's a more resilient outcome when it comes to the critical infrastructure in the United States. Dennis, I've gotten several questions and a bunch of calls during the break. They've been coming to my producer, but I'm going to get one or two out before I jump over to the Zilla Nation and what that is and the following that you've created. But one of the listeners had emailed in, Jeffrey, and asked the question, could Darkpulse sensors have made a difference in the unfortunate and catastrophic failure that occurred in the tower condominiums in Miami back many months ago, and could those sensors have saved lives?
Yeah, great question. And really, my belief is yes, it could have. And I'll point to a new technology that we're going through development right now called an intelligent rock bolt. That's in partnership with the University of Arizona. The initial deployments, or really the idea, came from rock falls and fatalities in hard rock mines. And this intelligent rock bolt can monitor stress and strain and also seismic events in mining. But the bolt itself can be applied to building and construction. But yes, I believe that if we had a smart bolt as part of that construction, you would have been alerted to, there's a change in the structure. And again, I envision this, across also, bridges, as well as buildings. But, I think, again, my push is towards smart infrastructure, and it's about saving lives. Sort of in the process, you save money as well, too. There's reduction in maintenance and inspection because, again, you have this live 24/7, anywhere, any device, 3D in color, graphic interface where, you can call up a bridge and see what's going on, see the temperature changes, the stresses, the strains, what is wind doing to a structure. So yes, I believe that if we had a smart bolt, in place, in Miami, we may not have avoided the collapse, but I believe we would have avoided, the deaths and the injuries that occurred.
Well, certainly, those types of critical infrastructure are even bigger when you start talking about major bridges and things that people traverse day in, day out, that is all across America. We've seen major cracks in our infrastructure and our interstate system. And I guess as we look forward, trying to make sure that we monitor those things on a better basis and repair them on a faster basis is something that's going to be critically important. Dennis, as you look at what you've started to build as far as a brand and reputation, there's a thing called the Zilla Nation. And I became amazed with this process and the people that follow you. In fact, just you posting this on Twitter has received hundreds upon hundreds of people, both replying and commenting. So you've got a pretty big following. One, what's the intent on building this Zilla Nation, and what do you hope to achieve with this great social media backing from so many people?
Yeah, I have to laugh a little bit because, like with every legend, right? There's how did this thing begin? And there's always a multitude of stories. It was a combination of things. I think someone one of the chat rooms had posted something about this is a Godzilla stock, meaning it's a huge opportunity. And at the same time, I had actually posted the movie Godzilla versus King Kong had just come out, and I was excited to go see it, and the two kind of connected with one another, and the Zilla Nation, the Zilla Nation was born right there. So, it's incredible. It wasn't done on purpose, right? And I think that's, it's just such a natural thing, and it's really amazing. And the support, that they give myself and the company, really, it's bar none. I've never seen it before in my life, it's an amazing marketing opportunity, but at the same time, it's pure. We didn't create it to be marketing. We have thousands of people. I went from I think I had 20 followers on Twitter to almost 5,000 really quickly. So it's just everybody lives and breathes this company like myself. It's our baby, and that's what the Zilla Nation is. Well,
I want the listeners to know, too, you're publicly listed, DPLS, the stock just listed about a year ago, and since then, the stock trades at 9 cents a share now. So I want listeners to know, it's been a penny stock. It started at very, very small amounts, and now it's up to 9 cents. It's gone as high as almost 20 cents a share. But as far as investors and managing their expectations going forward, where do you see the company going from a pricing standpoint and value for your shareholders?
There's a lot of restrictions around, calling share price. But what I can say is, this is really just the beginning. And if you look at where we were, in January, again, we were 1,000th of a penny at one point. There's multiple thousand upside on the stock now from where we started. And what I can say is this is really just the beginning. And if you look over again since January, we're 7 companies now. 7 companies. We have posted revenue for the first time since the company's inception. It was mostly R&D. The shareholder value, somewhere around $30 million, from a couple of 100,000. So, it's really just the beginning. And I believe over the next, few weeks, few months, again, there'll be a bigger picture. We're kind of looking through just a keyhole right now. But yeah, there's just so many things I want to do with the company. And like I say, the process to get out of over the counter is about 12 months. There's a 6-month application, and then, there's a whole host of things going on in the background. So our hope is in the next 12 months, get out of this over the counter. That'll give us a lot more exposure. I'm not leaving. I'm in this 100%. I'm running it all the way to the end zone. And, like I say, I appreciate everybody that sort of took the ride with us so far. And, nothing's getting in my way. So that's the most I could say about where we'll be.
Well, I think it's been fun to watch so far. There's a lot of excitement and optimism around this. You just had your annual shareholder meeting in Las Vegas. And again, I know many of your shareholders, they're very excited about the prospects of what Darkpulse could do and working not only in the United States, but around the world. And I'll give you the last word. We've got about 60 seconds left in our time today, but anything else for our listeners before we jump off?
Just again, like I've just been saying it, there's a lot ahead of us. Again, we'll see these continued acquisitions, key acquisitions that'll bring us, again, this more multitude of a response capability. Yes, Darkpulse has hardware, the systems, but I believe that you're only as good as your last sale when it comes to hardware, and the margins are just not there. So really, we're a software as a service company, and it's a service and maintenance contract sort of thing where we provide the monitoring services. I have to mention the Caltrans deployment in California. That's really the first commercial deployment in the United States, and it's with the California Department of Transportation. They're dedicated to upgrading their infrastructure, roads and bridges, and I think really is going to give a good sense of what the capabilities of the technology is, the system, and my belief, and I understand that other DOTs actually follow California standards. So I think it was just a huge monumental step forward for us, and I just see us getting more and more momentum going forward.
Well, Dennis O'Leary, CEO, Chairman of the Board for Darkpulse, we appreciate you coming on today and fighting the good fight and being a cultural icon at this point. It's kind of fun to watch the different social networks and how people are inspired by the work you're doing. So thanks for what you do.
Michael, thank you. Thank you, your listeners, for me too. I really appreciate the opportunity. And most important, I have to thank the Zilla Nation, again, for their support. And let's just do it. That's the way I look at it. Let's just do it.
It's a great group. Folks, we're out of time today. Thanks for tuning in to Eccles at 8. Remember, go to VantageRadio.com.